So my introduction is, my name is Shahrukh and I have a small YouTube channel known as ShockItU. So my aim is to basically get your view of the march today, and secondly the perspective of you. What do you think feminism stands for? We'll start with that.
Yeah, I think feminism stands for equality. Anything, if you're talking about a man, I think the same circumstances and the same privileges should be given to a woman. That's it. Economically, physically, mentally, whatever.
All right, that's great. So I have a second question over here, which is about this. So my question is that we can always talk about the equality of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that it would end in the equality of outcome?
Outcome how?
Outcome, basically, if we say that we do give the opportunity for a woman to choose whatever subject she wants, right? And do you think that would lead to equality of opportunity, which you are aiming for, and also equality of outcome, which is the end goal, which is would they get equal pay?
I think they should. I feel like a woman should decide what they want to do whenever they want to do, even if it fails, even if it doesn't work out. You can at least go like, meri marzi thi, maine kiya tha, I saw it coming and whatever. So I don't think anyone else should be allowed to
tell her
talk.
what to do. All right, so I get your perspective. You're saying the equality of opportunity should be there, and also she should have the room to see if there is an equality of outcome.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So let me just tell you one thing, right? So the most liberal state in the country is known as Scandinavia, which already has laws of liberalism implied in it. But as we say that, we tend to say that due to primary and secondary socialization, things happen, such as we enforce on the women to become doctor, nurses, and other healthcare stuff, and we enforce this on men to be engineers or computer engineers or mathematicians. We enforce them on that due to the society and having those gender roles apply on the subject of matter, right? So but my analysis over here out of that Scandinavia study was they were giving their liberal right to choose whatever they want, whatever field they want to go in. It wasn't enforced by them, the primary section or the secondary section, which is the media and all the globalization stuff happening. They weren't enforced as the rights are liberal over there. But even after that, 80% of female chose the predictable fields, such as being a doctor, being a nurse, and other stuff, which was already predetermined. Which was, we used to say, it is due to the primary, secondary socialization.
How long ago was this implemented?
This was around 70 years ago. All right, we can always have this argument that it's not long enough. Of course we can talk on that, but the thing is, what we are seeing is a discrepancy. What I mean by this is that we can see that even though the decisions have been given as a liberalist perspective says that we should give the decision to the woman to choose whatever she wants and the man to choose whatever he wants to do, right? But we see over here is that even when that right is being given, the woman, 80% of the women still choose the fields which was already predetermined.
So is your solution?
No, my solution. I'll get to a conclusion. Then you can say what my solution is. So what I'm trying to say is that we do not see a positive correlation or even a negative. What we see over here is that even when the liberalism and these perspectives are increasing, it's not even staying the same, but it's decreasing. And when we talk about the pay gap, it's still to say that men, being liberal, still choose more payable jobs, such as becoming scientists, such as getting to stem cells universities or stem cells engineering, which is of course high paid. So we cannot always fight on the gender pay gap, the first part. And the second part is, even when, as I gave you an example of Scandinavia, which is a liberalist point of view state, we still see this huge discrimination in pay gap and also in the classes or the fields they choose. And this is without the primary, secondary socialization when the gender equality is in place. What do you have to say on this?
I think that first of all, you have a whole script prepared and I'm just on the spot right now.
I'm so sorry to get you like that.
It's okay, but my problem with this is that you only quoted one study.
I've got more. Do you want me to quote more studies? Of course. As we see in the gender pay gap discrepancy, there are many other things which we do not talk about why there is a gender pay gap. I'm gonna get to gender pay gap, then to the equality of outcome, why it cannot be achieved. So as we say, how much time do we have? 2 minutes. All right. I'll just end with a conclusion. Then you can give your conclusion. All right. So the end thing which I'm trying to say is that as we see that even with the gender pay gap, we do not keep these things in mind. The things which are difficult to keep in mind are this is not the only thing why there is a pay gap. Other scenarios also play into pay gap, such as you not being able to get through the hierarchy, and you call it the barrier, and this is for both male and female, because of course there is a capitalist system which is always on the top, right? There will be an elite class, a middle class, and a lower class. So we have been embedded in our mind that we have to stay to 9 to 5 jobs. For that reason only, women and also men cannot get through the hierarchical structure. So we see that this movement is not only affecting, the pay gap is not only gender based, but it is also class based. So there are other factors. This is one of the factors. So we can always conclude with the statement, but my statement was there are not only one factor which we keep in mind, which is gender, but there are several factors which lead to this pay gap, and also equality of outcome, and also other scenarios. What's your conclusion?
I think
Anything you would like to conclude on?
I think it's just sad that on International Women's Day, that's the topic that you picked. You could have talked about so much. You could have talked about women getting raped. You could have talked about women being forcefully
The thing is, are you concluding on that?
I know. I'm just saying that you put so much effort into this. Have you put effort into why feminism works?
Yeah.
I totally believe you.
Right,
You must be right? Because you have all the research to back it up. But the point is that why now?
Why now?
Why right now?
All right, I would just like to conclude is that when we are supporting on an individual perspective,
We're not supporting on an individual perspective.
No, okay, let me get to you. Everything starts with an individual perspective, which might be subjective or objective in
I
nature.
find it really funny how you came here on International Women's Day on Aurat March to say this to me.
No, I'm here to get your perspective on this because you will know Aurat March better than
but
anyone.
there are better things to worry about.
So you think this is not a good thing? Gender gap, pay gap is not an issue?
You're blowing it out of proportion. I'm just saying you're not relating to the topic.
Well, that's your subjective perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I respect that. Anything else?
No, thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am.